Ladies, if he asks you what you do for a living, that's a red flag.
So if a man asks you what you do all day, 5 days a week, it's a red flag. No, if she's offended if you ask her or doesn't want to answer the question, that's a red flag.
I think a man pretending to be broke and then popping up surprise, I got money, is a huge red flag.
And I think a woman who chooses whether she wants to date a man strictly based on his income is a red flag. And these women in modern society are doing it on a regular basis, and the smart men know it, and they act accordingly.
I always act poor, you know what I mean? So when you act poor, I drove around a 1998 Honda Accord until last year, you know what I mean? On purpose. Like, didn't have to be driving that at all. But I realized that by staying humble, you are constantly being assessed and compared. So women are looking at it like, well, he's cute, but he pulled up in a 1998 Honda Accord. Meanwhile, that other guy on Instagram who tried to holler at me who's cute, he pulled up in an Audi. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to give him the advantage, and I think I'll be more willing to submit to someone like him. I don't want you to submit because of my material possessions. I want you to submit because of my mindset.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The majority of these women who are choosing men based on their income are just looking for a bailout, not a meaningful relationship.
Like, bro, I done ran into numerous situations over this past year where, females was just shamelessly telling me about their financial hardships, how they back was against the wall. They're just telling me how broke they are with no shame. No shame at all. And they acting like I'm just about to continue the conversation. Like, no, it's done. I'm about to block you. Like, some of them, they gonna approach the broke situation slow, just to see how far you gonna go. Like, what's up, boo? Can you cash at me $20-something so I can get me a wings and things tray from Zaxby's? Then that wings and things tray gonna turn into hair and nails. Then them hair and nails gonna turn into rent and child care.
Yeah, and for a child that's not even yours. Hey, this is Raulh. Please act right. The women are talking about red flags in men, so two can play that game. So I'm saying, fellas, stop ignoring the red flags in women.
I remember one man I was dating, he promised to buy me a car. I had really wanted this Mercedes truck at the time, and he had promised he was going to buy it for me. He took me to even go look at the cars and car shopping and everything, and just him saying it. And
she's expecting a man that she's dating, not a man she's married to buy her a Mercedes truck. Now watch how this backfires on her.
Pretending as though he was going to do it made me think that he truly was going to do it. So I gave a lot more of myself to him.
You thought this man was going to buy you an overpriced truck, so you gave him the buns. Continue.
Just based off of those promises that he made me. And in the end, he did not follow through with that promise. And I felt stupid. I felt used. And it was a huge learning lesson for me not to take any man's word, to only pay attention to his actions.
So she didn't give herself to this man because of his character or his moral values. She gave herself to him because he was going to buy her a Mercedes truck. Now, I'm not condoning the man's behavior for playing her, but she's a walking red flag simply because she was willing to give herself for material gain only. You know what they call women who give of themselves to a man in exchange for cash, goods, and services, right?
I've decided to move into another direction.
That's how you feel, I gotta respect it.
And that's all you have to say. If that's how I feel, I'm gonna respect it.
You seem like
you said your one-liner. If that's all you have to say, let's hug and let's just let it go.
Yeah, let's let it go, because you said you wanted to go, so go.
You ain't trying to fight for nothing.
You seem like you've already made your decision.
It ain't about me already making a decision. You don't have a rebuttal for nothing that I'm saying.
You seem like you've already made your decision.
I wanted you to say something.
I'm
you're not saying
to you speak.
It's not time to listen. It's time to talk.
Time to talk about what? You said you were going in another direction, so he's out.
All of the things you say you want to be there, you're here for me, you're all about the future and everything. You didn't even fight for a second.
What is she, still in high school? That man right there is the prime example of a man who knows his value. He said he'll be right there for you, and he was. You said you wanted to go in another direction, so why would he be there for you if you want to leave? Women who do this type of nonsense are walking, talking red flags. First, in the words of Kevin Samuels,
You better learn how to walk away and cut a chick off, because if you don't, you're going to be the fool. You're going to be the one that's left a dried up husk, because when she's done what you believe, she'll walk away.
And then, in the words of Medea,
this is what I learned in all these years on this earth. If somebody want to walk out of your life, let them go.
fellas, women who play these type of games are nothing but tall children. If you let her get away with it once, you'll be dealing with it ongoing. She's testing you to see what she can get away with. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in dating children.
I'm going to say no, but let me tell you why. You look like a really good man.
No.
And you got a high credit score, you have a 9-to-5, I'm just not that girl for you. I'll probably just ruin your whole life.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
She said, I'll probably just ruin your effing life. At least she was honest and upfront with her red flags. And I'm not going to even say anything about that pink hair.
Your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
Hi, I'm Layla Elise. I'm 29. I popped my balloon. Well, for starters, I really love your top. I love your outfit, and your face is beautiful. You're very handsome. But I really can't do a dangly earring. It's a deal breaker. And then you said something you seemed like you were very stubborn on that when someone else said it. So
they're coming for that earring.
As a man, I personally don't wear earrings because I think they're for women. But what I'm finding interesting about her reaction to his earring is a tattoo on her neck. Is she saying he looks feminine with the dangling earring? Because to me, women look masculine who wear tattoos, especially a tattoo on the side of the neck. Now, for some guys, a woman having tattoos is not a red flag, but it's the fact that she's judging him by wearing something that she would consider feminine, when she's wearing something which most of us men would consider masculine. His earring, it can be taken off in a couple of seconds, but her tattoo, it's permanent. Well, unless you pay somebody to burn it off. Fellas, you guys are going to have to learn to start looking for the red flags in these women when they're talking. I've been warning men about the red flags in women for decades, and they just won't listen. Ignoring red flags can be extremely costly to you down the line. You know I'm about to tell you a story, right? So many years ago, I'd say about 30 years ago, the company that I worked for, they had a company picnic. So at the company picnic, we were able to invite whoever you wanted to bring, like a +1. So we get to the picnic, everybody's having fun, and we're sitting at the picnic table. And one of the guys that I worked with, named Craig, was sitting across from me with the woman that he brought with him. So somehow we got on the subject about the record deal between the group TLC and their manager, Pebbles. And Pebbles was giving them a bad contract according to the group TLC. And the group kind of broke it down. So I said, there is no way I would get a group that I think is going to last, have longevity, and give them a bad contract. Because if you give them a bad contract, what if the group does really well and in longevity? And you gave them a bad contract for 3 years. When the 3 years is up, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna leave you. So after I said that, the young lady that Craig had with him, she responded, shoot, I give him a bad contract, I'll get all that money up front, I'm gonna get all mine. So I looked over at Craig and I'm like, just looking at him, and he's smiling like, hooty. That's a huge red flag. She's saying I'll do whatever it takes to get all the money. I don't care anything about those 3 young ladies in that group. All I care about is me. That's a huge red flag. And of course, I didn't say anything right then and there. All right, so Monday comes and I see Craig and I'm like, Craig, you did hear what she said when we were sitting at that table, right? And he said, oh yeah, man, she was just talking. She ain't in the record industry. I said, Craig, listen to me, brother. A person's heart is a person's heart. She spoke her truth, meaning that in any situation, she gonna go after the money, all the money, and she don't care about the other person. And he said, oh man, you just overthinking stuff. And I said, all right, and I walked away from him. I kid you not, 25 years later, by the way, he married her and they had a couple of kids. 25 years later, I had gotten promoted, same company, to another district. And Craig got promoted to that district about 2 years behind me. And Craig looked great. Hey, Craig, how's it going, man? Good to see you, yada, yada, yada. Well, some time went by, and we don't see each other every day because we start work around the clock. So you could start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and somebody else can start at 6 o'clock in the evening, and y'all never see each other for months. Well, a couple years went by, and I ran into Craig. He didn't see me, but I saw him. And Craig wasn't looking too good. Now, granted, I'm 5'8", about 165 pounds. Craig's about 5'8", about 220 pounds. But now Craig looked like he's losing a lot of weight, and he's losing it in a bad way. So a couple more months go by, and I see him. He doesn't see me. I just kind of duck around. I don't say anything. Then after a while, I said, the next time I see him, I'm going to ask him what's going on. So a couple more months go by, and I'm going into the bathroom to wash my hands and get ready to leave. And I walk in, and there's Craig. And Craig's sitting on the bench, and he's just slumped down, looking down at the floor. I walk in. I'm the only one in there, me and him. I walk in. He didn't even look up to see who walked in. So I said, what's up, Craig? And he looked up and said, hey, Raulh, what's up, man? I said, listen, man, I don't want to get in your business, but you haven't been looking too great lately, man. You losing a lot of weight. You all right? He said, oh, man. Yeah, you remember when we was at the company picnic back in the day? Yeah, I remember. And right as soon as he said it, I was like, uh-oh. He said, man, you tried to warn me about old girl, man. Well, I married her. We had a couple of kids, and now she done filed for divorce, and it's been almost a year and a half. She trying to take everything from me, man. She getting half my paycheck. She getting half my 401k. She trying to get back child support, and our kids are grown and out the house. Man, she just dragging me through the mud, dude. I was like, wow. But what else was I going to say? Because I warned him. She showed her heart back then, and he ignored it. It was a huge red flag. And I said, hey, listen, man, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, hope things get better for you. About 2 weeks later, I run into Craig again. And listen, it was on payday. I'm about to cry telling y'all this part. It was payday. And I got my check. Now, we're UPS drivers. We're probably the highest paid truck drivers in the U.S., if not the highest paid, close to it, when you talk about on an hourly basis. And Craig works about the same amount of hours I work. And I was looking at my check, and Craig was looking at his check, and Craig glanced over at my check, and we just happened to be standing next to each other. And Craig said, must be nice. And I was like, what you mean must be nice? We work the same job. He showed me his check, and I almost cried. Craig had deductions of almost $1,500 for that 1 week. His check was $1,700. He had deductions of $1,500. Dude had almost $200 left over. And that's when he told me he had to move into his parents' back into his parents' house, back into the basement where his room used to be. Fellas, you guys have to pay attention to the red flags in these women. Stop looking at what they look like, because she was gorgeous. She really was. Stop looking at what they look like and start paying attention to the words that are coming out of their mouths. Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week. And in the meantime, will you please pay attention to the red flags before you end up like my man Craig. My name is Raulh. See you in another video. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.